EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live first-round coverage of the Charity Invitational. Frank, through the years, there have been some great winners at the Open Championship played at Royal Troon.
Well, just in recent history, remember Mark Kalkovecchia in the playoff with Wayne Grady and Greg Norman. There was also Todd Hamilton when he beat Ernie Els in the 4-hole playoff. And back in 1996, Justin Leonard was to win his Open Championship.
Tom Watson also won an Open Championship here. Tom Weiskopf, his only major, that was 1973. The great Arnold Palmer, Bobby Locke, they all won at Royal Troon.
That's fine.
These wins have held up all day long, definitely playing a part in the shot making we're seeing out there today. Ready for his second shot, trying to knock it on the green.
This looks like it's going to find the target.
Superb shot.
Well, it's as good as it's going to get. There's going to be no worries about making that one.
Just a couple of feet. Starting to move on this leaderboard now, Frank.
It's got a nice look to it. The who's who.
Frank, another great example of links golf. It's not a particularly long hole, but there is trouble if you hit it offline.
Yeah, there's a bunker down there at about 280 yards that has to be avoided. Only the long hitters or perhaps the wind behind your back is the reason to take that bunker on.
No fairway here. This one in that rough. That'll be from about 90 yards away. Frank, not close, but from that lie, not bad.
Oh, that's excellent. Seriously, given the conditions, Rich.
Frank, this would be a nice way to jumpstart the round.
Yeah, his momentum can quickly go in the right direction if he makes this.
Well, that was just a lousy putt right there. No other way to say it. And he's putting for par now. One under early in the round. Now at the third hole here at Royal Troon, and Frank, another sort of short par 4, just 379 yards.
Yeah, simplicity's the key here, Rich. You don't really want to hit the ball more than 280 yards. Reason why is there's a burn there. And then from there, still only a wedge into a green that has 2 tiers.
Wow, Frank, look at that one run out. Just blistered that tee shot.
Well, that has to be 325 if it's an inch.
That will be a great look at birdie. Settles in over the putt. Frank, you've navigated so many leaderboards in your career. This is the way to do it, isn't it?
Well, there's plenty of holes ahead too, Rich. Third place, a really good position to be playing from here on in. I'm loving that balance.
Ideal position, sitting up perfectly. Right in the heart of the fairway, green light special. Frank, the Open Championship will be played at Royal Troon in 2016. It was first played back in 1923. What was first prize then?
A mere 75 pounds, so that equates to about 150 US dollars. And just to give you an idea, the last time they played there, Rich, was back in 2004 when Todd Hamilton beat Ernie Els. He got a whopping 720,000 pounds. That's right, nearly $1.5 million.
The money's nice, but every player would tell you, Frank, it is still all about that claret jug.
It is, and that's actually suited the Americans because since 1962, they've been to Troon 6 times, and 6 times the victor has been American.
And now over to the 5th. Frank, I've been impressed with the play to this point early in the round.
Yeah, it's solid without being spectacular, and that's actually a huge compliment.
This one has a chance to be close. Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on that. Easy birdie.
Just 5 feet left. This is a good move. Another birdie. Now to 5 under for the tournament. What a good hole. They call it the slopes. And the rough off the right-hand side of the green, really some of the most punishing on the entire course.
Yeah, and the one thing you don't want to do is actually leave it up there on that high side because it means that you'll be chipping downhill. Long and straight.
That's how you do it. Frank, this is a way to make golf easy when you can hit it that deep.
Oh, I'm going to say, I know that first number's a 3. I'm guessing the second one's a 2. Let's call it 320. Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. And it makes the green in regulation. Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
Looks like he just misread that. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt.
That was cruel. It looked like it was certainly going in.
It's a very makeable putt here. He is currently 5 under for his round. Frank, a par here, that's just fine. So through one round, Frank, our leader really put on a good show today.
They certainly did, Rich. It was truly a great performance, especially from tee to green. It's not easy to come out of the gates like that.
EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today it's live second round coverage of the Charity Invitational.
There's something about a well-hit shot.
I mean, he just blasted it down the fairway, well over 325 yards. Chance to set himself up for a good scoring opportunity with his second shot here. Birdie try up next. This for another birdie on this hole on the week.
When you consider the length of that putt, it's a good putt.
Not a gimme, but well within his range. Good par. And ready to tee off here at the par 4, 391 yards second.
Yeah, it's not overly long. The biggest priority for the players is just avoiding the bunkers. All 11 of them, whether it be with your tee shot or the second hole. But at that modest length, it is very much a birdie hole.
Frank couldn't ask for anything more.
Just the lie there, too. It is sitting up like it's teed up.
Setting up for an approach shot here. Frank, there's a real art to putting a good 72-hole score in the book, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. You know, you can have a flash of brilliance, make 5 or 6 birdies. It can be offset by doubles and quadruple bogeys. And in the end, it's the end. What did you do? The plus and the minuses. And that's why all our biggest championships have, and of recent, been stroke play.
Locked in on the read and the speed. Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
You love to watch him disappear, don't you? Back to the tee box here on hole number 3, and there are a few club selection decisions that come into play on this first shot, Frank.
There is. The reason why, there's a burn that cuts through from the 16th hole all the way across the golf course through the middle of the 3rd. And that stops, or should I say starts, at about 285 yards. That really has to be at the forefront of your mind.
That's an absolute tracer right there. In the fairway and well over 320 yards. Another good swing, and it looks like, Frank, another really good shot. Stuffed it in there really close, and now just a tap in. So the dominant performance continues.
Yeah, we're watching 2 tournaments right now, the one at the top and the rest.
Rich Lerner back at historic Royal Troon with Frank Novola, who's played the Open Championship on 2 occasions here at a golf course that goes back to the late 1800s. This is the first par 5, Frank, on the golf course, and you would think a chance to make a birdie and get that round started.
It certainly is. Dogleg right, 2 bunkers on the left. If you hit the ball a little bit straight, you'll certainly get into those pot bunkers. The one on the right, most people can carry. You carry that, this par 5, more than reachable.
That is massive off the tee.
Meters, yards, I don't care how you measure that. That's got to be what? 300 meters, 325 yards, something like that.
He'll be pretty happy with that one, about 20 feet away in a good spot. Makeable putt right here. He is currently sitting at 1 under for the round. You couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Once considered the best PGA teaching pro in the country, our featured golfer makes birdie and now sits comfortably inside the cut line. Now, the first par 3 here at Royal Troon. It's the 5th hole, a little bit more than 200 yards. What's the challenge here, Frank?
A lot depends on the breeze. Plus, you remember, you've got to allow for the roll and the bounce here. So anything pitching on the front of the green, let that ball release or kick towards the middle and back of the screen.
On the green, and a chance for birdie. Shouldn't be a problem here. Just continuing to play some really good golf. 8 under par for the championship.
Well, Rich, 2 rounds in the books, and it's easy to see why the leaders are on top of that leaderboard.
Excellent performance, but still a long ways to go in this tournament. EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live third-round coverage of the Charity Invitational.
Tom Weiskopf was one of my idols growing up. I loved the way he swung. That swing right there reminds me of my idol.
It looks like Rory McIlroy, Frank, sticking the follow-through.
That's an absolute beauty.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
On the green, and a chance for birdie here on the first hole. This one just requires a little bit of focus.
Great start.
Frank, another great example of links golf. It's not a particularly long hole, but there is trouble if you hit it offline.
Yeah, there's a bunker down there at about 280 yards that has to be avoided. Only the long hitters or perhaps the wind behind your back is the reason to take that bunker on.
Those are good numbers right there. 3-2-0. 320 yards, just crushed it in the fairway. Good-looking shot right here. That is a beauty, a real beauty. So coming off the birdie on the previous hole, a chance now for yet another one.
And momentum all in his favor.
Not a real hard game, is it? Birdie to open. Now at the third hole here at Royal Troon, and Frank, another sort of short par 4, just 379 yards.
Yeah, simplicity's the key here, Rich. You don't really want to hit the ball more than 280 yards. Reason why is there's a burn there. And then from there, still only a wedge into a green that has 2 tiers. That's fine.
Good strike, good lie, good chance to attack the pin. Frank, so crucial, isn't it, to just choose the right bat, club selection?
Yeah, when you're playing well and you're swinging well, you're going to hit more good shots than normal. But to top that off, if you can choose more good clubs than you normally would, then you will play better.
Oh, can't hide the flagstick from that man. Frank, this is the kind of start every player wants.
Yeah, swinging it well. Certainly hitting the ball in the right place there. And, yep, good thing, too. He's actually putting well.
Hole number 4, Frank, can you cut the corner on the tee shot on this dogleg right par 5?
Well, Rich, you have to guarantee you can carry the ball at least 280 yards. That bunker that protects that side is the big problem if you go down the right. Rich, there's great drivers of the ball. We've seen Norman, Nicholas over the years, but that there is just excellent. Lovely full turn, plenty of power, and just piped it.
Made it look easy right there, and he's such a good-looking player. When he's dialed in, swinging the way he is right now, just a pleasure to watch. Well, you can hear it right off the center of the club face. This has a chance to be close. Really in control of this hole. Birdie yesterday, and another opportunity on the way. Getting set now over the putt. Wow, that was so close, Frank.
Just time to forget that one. I mean, he couldn't hit that much better.
Birdie here yesterday, trying to do it again today. Racking them and stacking them. That's 12 under par now for the tournament. On to the 5th hole now, Frank, and this is really where the old course starts to test the golfers. It's just over 200 yards. You happy with a par 3 here?
You are. This is one of the toughest shots, certainly on the outward 9. Now, there's 4 bunkers of this par 3. You don't really worry about the one that's short left, but the one just on the front right of the green is the biggest concern. You've either got to go around it or carry it.
Into the thick stuff, that's a difficult lie. Second shot coming out of the rough here. So missed the fairway, and now he's back where he needs to be.
Yeah, minimize the problems.
No putter, no problem. Slams that into the cup. Frank, in golf, there's nothing quite like the final round of a hotly contested championship, and this one could be a doozy.
And there's nothing quite like that leaderboard I'm looking at right now. We are going to have some amazing golf. This one is going to have to be won.
EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live final round coverage of the Charity Invitational.
Should be safely on deck.
Midway through this back nine, could use this birdie here at the 14th. Now this for birdie, came away with par in the previous round. Well, Frank, it's our job to get excited.
You can't when you leave it short, though.
I'm sad.
He's making my job hard.
In for par. Now at the 15th at Royal Troon Golf Club, 483-yard par 4. This, Frank, is one of the hardest holes in the course.
It's certainly a stout par 4 at that distance. If you're playing it into a head breeze, then 260 yards is certainly going to be a big tee shot. But 260 yards takes all the bunkers out of play. I've seen some long tee shots, but it's the advantage to tee that ball up, get it up there quickly, get the wind behind you. It's amazing how far you can hit it.
Birdie try up next. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Wow, I can't believe he found the cup on that one.
Clean up on aisle 5.
Frank, here's the only par 5 on the back nine at Royal Troon.
You'd think at 542 yards it would be reachable, but the burn that cuts across really limits the tee shot to about 280 yards. So it's very much about placing that second shot in a good distance for your third.
In the 1997 Open Championship here at Royal Troon, you played with Tiger Woods in the third round. What did he do at this 16th hole?
He hit a driver for a second shot into a head breeze from about 270 yards. Managed to get it on the green, then knocked it in from about 45 feet for eagle.
You knew he was something special back then, didn't you?
Yeah, he was the only one that even tried that shot.
That is tasty looking right there, Frank. Just a perfect spot in the fairway.
That is prime real estate. How do you get a lie like that? Seriously, you could hit any club from there.
See if he can get this one to drop here at the 16th for a birdie. Made par yesterday, this one for birdie. And he has it for birdie. Final par 3 here at Royal Troon. It's the 17th. And what kind of a hole is it, Frank?
Well, this takes your best long iron shot. Normally plays back into the prevailing breeze. You miss this green on the left, it will run all the way down the hill. The bunkers might look short, but if your tee shot isn't hit properly, It'll puff up into that breeze and certainly find a pot bunker. Well, there's a big green, and they're going to use every inch of it.
Safely aboard, about 25 feet from the hole. Birdie chance here. Very long putt, though.
Got to be a little careful if it gets away on him.
You couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. And he has it.
A good putt redeems all.
Frank, now the final hole, steeped in so much history. When you think about the legends of the game who have walked off this tee on their way to the claret jug, guys like Tom Watson, Arnold Palmer, Bobby Locke.
Yeah, if you've got a one-shot lead standing on this tee, somehow you have to avoid those 4 bunkers. 3 down the left, 1 down the right, with a strip of fairway in between.
A great way to start a hole, nicely placed in the fairway. Frank, obviously here at 18, you do not want to be long.
Yeah, err on the side of caution here. You're exactly right. You'd rather be 30 feet short of this flag than 30 feet over the back of the screen, because it might just be out of bounds.
That is an excellent play right there. The approach, giving him another good look to win the Charity Invitational. Okay, no problem with that one. Just a fantastic week of golf. Add that one to the win count.
A lot of great quality players out there, and to come on top of that leaderboard is truly a great accomplishment.